Hi there, and welcome to what I guess is the second episode of Adventures with Ruan, trademark pending. Today I am here at Midval Raceway because folks over at Fitstick Fitting invited me to come and have a look at something that they have been cooking up. Okay, got a bit distracted, but let's get back on topic. That right there is a seemingly box standard Audi S3, which FTF sort of have worked their magic on. It seems like Julian is very, very excited to drive this thing because they've got that uncle over there throwing some water so he can do a burnout. They're probably going to add some crack pipe. Yeah, there's the bottle over there. Didn't even give me a chance to talk to him. Just hopped right back into the car, and now he's going back to doing his thing. But I'm not complaining because this thing sounds... At the start of this video I mentioned to you guys that this thing looks basically box standard. But as you can see now, Julian has got an open bonnet, so now we can have a look and a bit of a chat as to what exactly makes this thing, as you guys saw, as fast as it is. So, Mr. Julian, tell us a bit more about this thing. For the second time, I apologize, my microphone broke the first time.
Basically, it's still got the stock 2-litre TFSI S3 motor it came with. We've basically done everything to the motor that can be done. Still have the original direct injection, nothing else has been changed there. Basically everything in the motor has been upgraded except from the crank and the two camshafts. That's basically still stock. Done the head from Bartek, we've done 1000 horsepower head kit on it, the valves, retainers, the whole lot. Upgraded the conrods. We're running the Marley pistons as well. And yeah, gearbox side we've done all coolers, we've done the Bartek's filter housing as well with the temperature gauge. And then we've upgraded the clutches to the DP250 MQB platform's clutches. And yeah.
Now the MQB platform, what would that be? I don't really know the VAG cars.
That's basically from a Golf 7R.
From a Golf 7R, so it can take some power.
Yeah, I think we're on the limits, but it's holding for now.
At least.
And then turbo-wise, we're running at 2.1 bar boost now. It's a Precision 64, 66. So yeah, we know that at the limit yet. We can still go up in power, but we first want to just test it and see what.
Yeah, test and tune. I mean, this thing build-wise is still in its infancy. I mean, four runs. Yeah, that's all it's done, and a few dyno runs, but really, it's still a baby. You still gotta get through all these growing pains and all these this and that. And I mean, as you guys can see, so far they've not done too badly.
Nah, it looks good.
Okay, so I did bog down a little bit on launch, but well, I mean, we were speaking amongst ourselves earlier and they mentioned that they are expecting it to do mid-10s on a prep track, obviously, so it can grip up and do all the things that it needs to do. They won't be doing mid-10s today because track isn't prepped, and I mentioned earlier while speaking to Julian, the build is still in its infancy. That was his 5th run ever in that car down the drag strip, and they're still dialing it in, they're still testing, they're still tuning, still figuring out the kinks, figuring out the bugs, and well, developing it. But before I bore you guys even more, see what he does. Well, quite the opposite compared to the Audi. The Audi is tame, friendly to photographers, won't hurt your eardrums. It grips like absolute, well, it grips like shit on a woolen blanket. And then that thing comes along, physically hurts your earlobes, and then annihilates the front tires. I think, if I saw correctly, it's on Michelin Pilot Sport 5s, so it's some good tires, but either way it just lit them right up. Even though they are still testing and tuning and figuring out the car, it seems that Julian and everyone here are enjoying it because circled around, didn't even stop, put another uncle in the car, and now they're going for another run. Judging from the few runs they have done so far, like I said, taking into account that they've really never done it before that car, I think once they've got it dialed in and once they've worked out the kinks, that car is going to be fast and it is going to be consistent. And judging from the little interview I had with Julian a bit earlier, except for the clutch maybe, it's going to be reliable as well because they've basically done everything they can do to it. Oh, Mr. Julian, now that you've done a few runs, looks good. How's you feeling?
It's still, yeah, we need to figure out how to get it out of the line. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, I can see it's bogging up a bit.
Yeah, then it's spinning and then it's bogging, so we just need to get the fine line.
Get used to it, get to know the car, know what it's going to do, know what you need to do to it.
Exactly.
Makes sense, makes sense.
Well, we'll get it sorted.
Yeah, you'll get it sorted. You guys seem to know what you're doing. Okay, sun's getting low, other people are rolling in because Friday nights it is sort of an open test and tune night here at Midval. Other people are coming in, so the guys at FTF are sort of wrapping up. I pointed to the wrong car, that's a MR2, not an Audi. So I was standing up there and I'm wait, I don't hear the car anymore. Are they gonna come? Is something wrong? Turns out it's just quiet. They were just sitting at idle, waiting their turn while the other oaks finished up. By far the coolest thing about that car and the way they've put it together is just how unassuming it is. Obviously it's not quite as inconspicuous once it gets on it, but it's tame, it's toned back, it's not over the top. It doesn't scream at you. Once it goes on to launch control, me as a photographer, I can appreciate it. It doesn't blow out your eardrums. It doesn't have the flippin' the snap, crackle and pop tune that some guys love with the VAG community. It just goes, and it goes fast, and it goes fast all the time. Even with that car being toned back as it is, being as quiet, as tame as it is, in my opinion and in my experience, it's probably the best sounding 2-litre TFSI that I have encountered in the wild ever. I don't think that MR2s are 95, eh? We are just about wrapped up here. Julian, how did this test and tune go today?
Well, look, for the first time out, I think it went very well. We got to see what we wanted to, where we need to adjust a bit, make it better. We're having a bit of a boost issue at the moment, where it's a bit under boosting. So
it's not making the power it should be making, that's why it's bogging down.
Yeah. So we got it, 1 or 2 clean runs on it. We got data from, so we can take it from there and get it sorted.
And those clean runs,
it's amazing.
I believe you. And I was saying earlier, it goes like the clappers, even with it under boosting and with the teething problems, all the issues. I was standing up there earlier waiting for you guys to make a run. I thought you'd switch it off, something had broken. I just didn't hear it idle.
Yeah.
It's so unassuming. You don't know what it is until you see the Hoosiers.
Yes.
It's basically
it's a full street build still. We just put the tires on. You can drive this thing to Cape Town and back if you want.
Yeah, the only reason you're trailering it here is because the tires aren't rosy. Otherwise, you just pop it over the track, do your thing, go home. And you've got aircon all the while. No. Oh, you don't?
I took it out.
Excuse the potato angle. I forgot my suction cup mount at home, so this will have to do. At least you guys can see this. You can see this. So that's all you really need to see. A bit of a tit, but I am here, and like I said, already filled in the indemnity. So come on, 60, 70, 80, shift up. Come on. 100 k's an hour. Come on. Almost 120. I gotta get the Opel running. Oh gosh. Okay, so you guys thought the video was done, but in fact, it is not. Because, well, it's Monday now and I'm back here at FTF. You guys might have seen me coming down here for the Dyno Friday 2 times now, during which we kind of sort of found out a few things about this thing that have been annoying the living hell out of me. So, I'm going to go catch you guys up on the Audi a bit later. Let's focus on this real quick. Now, those of you that have been following for quite some time, especially those of you that have been following on Facebook, know that I have had nothing but issues with this thing's induction system. First, it just had kind of the short 90-degree intake with a flea market special cone filter on it. Then I had the concertina pipe connected to a fake BMC CDA air intake, which was way too restrictive. Then I had the concertina pipe connected to a BMW airbox. Then I found out that the snorkel was way too restrictive. It was actually so restrictive that we couldn't tune it with the snorkel connected. We had to disconnect the entire thing to tune the engine, which was less than ideal. But anyways, then I ended up modifying the snorkel, still too restrictive. Then I ended up modifying the airbox, still too restrictive. And now I'm down to this, which is either the 4th or the 5th iteration of this intake system, which is basically a mock-up of your universal K&N induction kit as seen on Mighty Car Mods. And it's still not perfect. I mean, this only steals about 5 kilowatts, but it still steals some power. And this concertina pipe, it's ugly. So Mr. Julian, how are we going to fix my issue?
Well, we've been going through everything. I think the best solution will be we're going to build it.
So yeah, I'm very excited. Those of you that have seen the fabrication work that these guys do, you know that it looks really, really cool. So I'm pretty excited to have some decent hardware under the bonnet because, I mean, from the outside it looks pretty good on photos until you get close. But even from far away, this engine bay kind of sort of looks like crap. I'm glad to be able to sort of spiff it up a bit. But yeah, enough about this boring thing. Let's get back to the Audi just so I can give you guys sort of a bit of closure on it. So Mr. Julian, let's go have a look. So Mr. Julian, we've already established that you guys did have a few teething problems which caused you to sort of have to load it on the trailer and leave a bit prematurely. Have you guys been Have you guys been able to identify those teething problems maybe?
Yeah, so we found one of the vacuum lines actually vibrated loose. Obviously we're running 8,000 RPM, so there's a lot of vibrations with the mounts we have in all of that. So one of the vacuum lines on the boost controller to the external wastegate actually came loose, and that's why we were having the boost control issues at the moment.
Ah, so how does one exactly fix that? Because so since it's on the hot side of the turbo, you can't exactly put thread locker on it, so I'm guessing just agadagas, hey? Just talk it down, make sure it's tight and it won't come loose.
Yeah, and the main thing is the position of where it's sitting. It's not, we couldn't get access to it at the track because the car was so hot. Now that it's cold, we can actually get access to it. So we'll just have to make sure before we race, just go all over everything and just make sure it's right.
Yeah, I mean, with the amount of power you guys are pushing, some preventative maintenance is to be expected. I definitely understand what you're saying about you couldn't exactly fix a trackside, because I don't even think the most bravado of mechanics would stick their fingers in there. So yeah, there you guys heard and saw it. Excuse the shadow from the hat. It is definitely a very exciting car that they are building in there. Can't wait until they have sorted out the teething problems and they can actually get it reliable and consistent, so they can get their times down and actually get it onto a prepped surface. Because I think, I've said it a few times, I think it's going to be fast. And that really is all I have to say about that and all I have to report about it. I guess we'll have to wait and see for the next time they take it out to mid-vol or to whatever track they do choose to take it. I just handed in the keys inside. Obviously, I'm not excited to be leaving her behind, but the guys over here do good work, and I do believe that I can trust them and that they will take good care of her. I think I'm going to go wait inside though, because it's very cold. So yeah, I do hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like, comment, subscribe. If you want to, share the video. Let me know what you guys liked seeing, what you guys want to see more of, and I will see you guys in the next video. Cheers.